Hi legends, I've been playing Diablo Immortal for about a year and a half as a free-to-play player, but during this last year that I started to create content, there's one question that people in the chat or in the YouTube comments keep asking me multiple times, which is, if you would spend money in Diablo Immortal, what will be your top 8 legendary gems that you'll go for it? And the honest truth is like this will depend as the time goes by, but at this current time, Diablo Immortal, they keep adding new gems about like every, 3 months. So there's new 1 stars, there's new 2 stars, but whenever it comes like especially to the 5 stars, this is something that if you are a free-to-play player or a low spender, or even if you are a spender, this takes a lot of resources and for a few of you a lot of money. So you want to make sure that you are actually putting your resources in the right legendary gems, because the real thing that you want to avoid, it is putting resources in a gem that will be power creeped just in the next patch. So this is happening with a lot of like these very old school gems, because the game already has 3 years, so not every single gem it is actually like really worth it to put your money at this time. So I decided to put together what will be my top 8 legendary gems that I will pick if I will spend money in the game. The first one, by no surprise, it will be the Bloodsoaked Jade. This gem, until we have another gem that will come into the game that will also add movement speed together with some damage percentage, there's no way I'm gonna not be using this. The fact that we don't have mounts, the fact that if you remove this 10%, you're actually gonna be like really slow while walking. I hate to be like really slow, and that's the reason why I use like things like Bloodsoaked Jade or the Colossus, because I just want to be moving at the maximum speed, because I literally just hate to waste some time. I will always trade a bit of damage for some extra movement speed. Movement speed not only is great in PvE because you're gonna farm faster, you're gonna save time, but also in PvP, if you want to chase somebody or if you want to run away from somebody, if you are moving very slow, you're always going to get caught, and I think honestly that's really bad. The next one, again, by no surprise, obviously will be the Running Consequence. This, in my opinion, it is the best gem in Diablo Immortal. This is the one that is going to increase up to 42% of your critical hit chance. It's going to apply burns. That's going to start creating these small burning explosions on the targets, and whenever he applies the burn, will also increase your critical hit chance against burning targets by 12%. These are all like at rank 10, but it's just so you can understand how big it will be. Not only that, it is a gem that will enable you to, for example, if you are playing a Tempest, you are using wind, so wind together with the burn will actually create this firestorm, which is going to be very important for you to have this incremental damage added on top of all the damage that you already do. So if there is one gem that you will know that probably in 5 years in Diablo Immortal, they will still be here, and the only one that you probably should put it at rank 10 will be the Running Consequence, because this most likely will not gonna get power creeped anytime soon. The other one, you will be the most recent 5-star that they added into the game, which is the Hunt Coil. This gem, it is literally the highest damage percentage increase that we had inside the game. So whenever you're gonna do damage to the target, you have a 10% chance to add a debuff on it. And 10% chance, it may feel like it is not a lot, but it is a lot, because in Diablo Immortal, pretty much every time that you're gonna hit the target, you're gonna apply all of these extra like burnings and bleeds and all of these things. So you're gonna do like multiple attacks, which is gonna make it like this gonna proc like almost instantly. Then you're also gonna have, whenever you're gonna change to the defensive stance, you also can reduce the damage that you take. So this is like very nice, because I like to also play as a tank, and I love to have legendary gems that are very versatile. So whenever I change classes, I don't have to change my whole setup. So I always love universal gems that I will take it whatever the build, whatever the class, and I still can be able to use it. Additionally, we'll also create this AoE blast, so this is going to be insanely powerful, for example, for dungeons or for farming, or even in PvP, whenever you're just like attacking a target, there's multiple targets, there's multiple explosions, you can spread like your bleeds on your burnings. It's so OP. Like a lot of people, they just overlook like these secondary effects of like these 5-star, but I mean, even if it didn't have this, just 45% increased damage will be absolutely good. The next one, you will be the Blood Flow. Whenever you're gonna apply a crit, will also increase the damage that you do, and also it will increase the critical hit damage by 40%. I mean, I will 100% prefer if this gem was, for example, something like 36 increased damage done, because the fact that it gives like the 40% critical hit damage whenever like in PvE is already so easy to get to the critical hit damage cap, I'll probably prefer to change it a bit. However, regardless, there is not a lot of 5 stars legendary gems in the current state of the game that increase critical hit damage and also add the critical hit damage on top of it. Then whenever you also gonna apply the debuff, you're also gonna apply a bleed. So this actually, you're gonna apply a damage over time that whenever you're gonna have these targets that are bleeding around you, you can actually have up to 16% critical hit chance. So I will say that definitely the crit chance, it is the most valuable thing on top of the damage done. And then obviously the critical hit damage will also help you, especially if you are doing, for example, PvP. The next gem will be the Colossus engine. Man, this gem, it is one of my favorites. The fact that you can become like absolutely massive, and by the way, it got slightly nerfed. You could actually in the past get even bigger, but the fact that you can actually stack this on top of your movement speed. So if you guys don't know, whenever you actually become bigger in this game, you're actually gonna start running faster. And again, it is very useful for you to actually farm faster. And I'm all about efficiency with my time, not only with the damage, but I will always, as I said, trade a bit of extra mobility and movement speed, so it will save me some time than just having like 1 or 2% more damage. Because either way, at this stage of the game, if you are using like this gem setup, like you probably are gonna already be killing everything in just a matter of seconds. So having that extra speed will definitely be very valuable. On top of that, it's gonna give you some immunity to knockback. I mean, honestly, this is not like very exciting. It is all about the skill damage, 50% increased skill damage, especially if you're playing, for example, Crusader or Wizard, or like it applies to every single class, but there are some classes where like this gem, it is like so goated that it is really hard to not put it is on your gem setup. Yeah, it's one of my favorite gems. Absolutely, I love it. Then the other one, it is the Bottle Hope. Okay, the Bottle Hope, honestly, I feel like in the near future will get power creep. And the major reason is because you kind of needed to put it at rank 10 to be like a 24% increased damage. And then you have like nowadays like 2-star gems that they added like 36%, or they have like also 30%, or they have like 28%. So way bigger than the Bottle Hope. The thing about the Bottle Hope is that for a certain specific classes, so for example, like the Crusader, that you don't have a lot of mobility, especially in PvP, the increased movement speed by 24%, it is actually very valuable. Now, on top of that, you also have the skill cooldown reduction, the 6%, which is not strived in PvP. It makes it still like quite valuable at a very high rank for whales. So in an ideal scenario, if I could have this at rank 10, most likely, obviously, I will still use it. But I believe that the Bottle Hope, very soon, it is gonna get power creep. I think by the end of like 2026, most likely with the new 5 stars, we're not gonna be using it. Now, let's go here into the Void Spark. This is another gem that I feel like in the near future will also get power creeped. It is still very valuable when it comes like, so for example, to farm, for example, whenever you want to spread the dots, or whenever you want to play against like multiple targets. Well, when you're gonna deal damage, you're gonna get like this Void Spark, which is gonna be a chain lightning, and this chain lightning literally is gonna be able to attack up to 8 targets. So now you understand how it is actually very cool for farming. Also, it's gonna increase your attack speed by 16%. But aside like from farming, honestly, I will 100% slot a 2-star rank 10 with damage increase, probably like a Spectral Glass or even a Mother's Lament to give more crit. But we're talking about just mainly 5 stars. Void Spark will definitely make the cut. And the other one, and the last one, will absolutely be here, the Wolf Heart. That this is gonna give you a buff that every time that you're gonna attack the target will actually add this extra damage. The fact that you have like really good synergies, for example, the 4 pieces of grace, that every time there's 5 stacks, you know, it does the extra damage. Then you have the Wolf Heart, and then you have, for example, the Blood Flow with the bleed, and then you have like your burning effect from the running consequence. You see how these like 5 stacks, they start like stacking up like really hard. They start adding like this extra damage. On top of that, you will also increase your attack speed to you and your allies, and these attack speeds, they actually combine together with a Void Spark, so you could have up to 30% attack speed just from your 5 stars, which will be very cool. The only thing that I kind of hate about this Wolf Heart, it is the fact that we have here a small internal cooldown of 0.3 seconds, which you know, it feels like it is not a lot, but it is. So I will definitely still use this one. I think it will add a lot of extra damage, especially in in very specific builds, but honestly, another gem that probably in 2026 is gonna get power creep. So if you guys ask me at this stage, these will be definitely my top 8 legendary gem setups that if I will spend money inside Diablo Immortal, I will go for them, and I can't wait for what are gonna be the next 5 stars that we're gonna have inside Diablo Immortal. So with this, guys, I hope that you guys enjoyed this guide. Please don't forget to drop a like, subscribe, and type cheese in the comments, and I see you guys on the live streams. Peace.